Good afternoon, everyone. It is November 2nd, 2022. We've just had our FOMC session. It's now 11 p.m. during Globex, and this video is going to be for tomorrow's RTH session, November 3rd, 2022. I've got a lot to say in this. I said a lot earlier in the video prior, so go back to that if you want more context. But we're covering a huge range now. Tomorrow has the potential to go down to, let's call it 3,700, and to the upside, the day's high is at 3907, the week high at 3925. So we have roughly a 200-point range of possibilities to keep in mind. So let's go into the actual structure of what I'm looking at, and then based off of the structure, you can get an idea as to why I have the zones where they are. So this is going to be weekly numbers and higher time frames. Let's get that down to a 5-minute as well. So what did we see? We saw earlier last week, we had this defense of this mid-30s area, right around 36, 38, 33, 35, 36. Weekly VWAP was corresponding to that at the time. That ended up being half back on the week, 38, 34, which is where we caught the bid today before the FOMC announcement. And we did have an offer there, and on the 1 minute you can see it a little more clearly. We had a nice offer down about 10 points or so, and it did catch a bid again for about 5 points or so. So that weekly halfback was important at 34. I had said that if we were to catch a bid prior to FOMC, it'd be around 46 quarter. That's where we had our low of the day for a little bit, and where we were churning around before that 34 tag and go. Weekly value is sitting at 38.50-ish. Maybe of importance. This 52 area was important during mid-September when we were here before. I don't think so, just because that was just so long ago. So we're going to ignore it for now. We have created a point of control in the week, though, right around the October monthly close, right around our open on the week, right around last week's value area high. So we've done a lot of volume here. That's a chunky, let's thicken that up so you can really see it. That's a chunky bit of volume here. Maybe if we delete these lines, it'll be a little bit clearer for you guys. But and let's even get rid of this for a second. That is a chunky bunch of volume between about 84 to 80. So I do not want to be participating in here. There's a chance this gets a sell tomorrow if we do tag it. The idea being that a position was built and then sold us off downwards. But I just don't want to be a part of that. So how am I looking at this? In reality, what I would expect is that we have trouble getting above 92s. I really don't think we would get over this 34 area. 34, more so about 05 to 20. 05 being, 20 being where we had, not 20, 16-ish. 16-ish is where we had the bid last Friday, which gave us that epic ramp session, that 80-point move upwards. So I expect that'll be where we'll have the primary sell occurring. But even getting to 16 is somewhat productive. Value area low on the session sitting at 38.15. Value area low from last week sitting at 38.05. So you're starting to enter value, and 38.34 to me is sort of the last spot for momentum to be on the bear side. Just because that is where we had our sort of low of the day area prior to the FOMC announcement. I think once you start getting above 45, 47, 52, it's going to get a little muddier in here, and whether we take out these highs or just what I would more so expect is a lot of churn around here, I think it'll be messy above this 45 area. So how am I actually going to play this? Let's also just briefly go into the downside. Last week's low sitting at 51.75. We did have a Globex bid come in, I believe at 36.75 Monday night maybe. We can pull that up. Yeah, 36 quarter was where it showed up on Monday pre-market, or even earlier than that, about 4:30 a.m. That corresponding to that week's prior value area high, a little bit below value area low. So how am I actually going to trade this? Let's get into that. There we go. Here's our favorite chart. I've marked off just the 30-minute 2 p.m. low and high, 39.5 and 99.5. That's just corresponding to the FOMC numbers. Down below, we have, I believe, quarterly VWAP sitting at 37 quarter for the Globex full sessions, 39.75 if you include, if you just do the RTH sessions. So just this low, mid to upper 30s number corresponding with that quarterly VWAP, which will be important. Currently, you can see we've got a bid and we are going above the day's low. Again, 92 is coming from, I'm just going to pull this up on the side for myself. 92 is coming from October's value area high. I think we get a nice sell off of there, 14.5, just a couple ticks from value area low on the session. And 0575 is that last week's value area low. 34 being last week's halfback, where I'm going to be looking to sell as well. Now I have zones above that 72 quarter, 99 half, 0675, 42.77, all this stuff. But I'm not going to be looking to trade this. So instead, what I'm going to do is we're going to just block that off for a second. There we go. Now you can't see that. And to the downside, I'm not interested in trading if we get below 16s. I think we're going to have to deal with the bids that were established on Friday's session around this 85 number. And once we start trading down there, here's my problem is that during the RTH session today, we had a high in the 3900s. If we're trading sub 3700s, you're just going to have a lot of players offside. Trying to take any mean reversion longs might be met with trying to think of the correct term here. There might be too much slippage for my style of trading. I like to be quite precise on the entries, and I don't think it would do a great job for myself. So instead, I will ignore everything below about 37.10. So really, what I'm looking at for tomorrow is just this. Selling October's value area high, selling today's value area low, selling last week's halfback, selling 42. 42 is just a great number. It was great. 42, 44 quarter, 47. There's a lot of great numbers around here. Down below, we do have 35 half. I think 33 as well. Yeah, 32.75. There were some nice numbers in this kind of 25 to 47 area that may work for offers. I'm just going with 42, simply being that is where we caught that's where we caught sort of the breakout bid in Monday's pre-market and Globex session before we had the open. So I will be looking to sell 42 and then selling 16 half, which corresponds with a prior week's halfback, and I believe that is where we had some bids. Yeah, we had some bids show up. I think at 14 was the number I had initially, but now that we have established the structural level of 16 half, I will just go with that. So 16 half is what we'll be looking to be offered. Other than that, I don't really have much to say. I think a lot of people come into these sessions expecting a huge move after such a huge move the day prior. Look, we've already fallen off from 39.06 down to 37.50-ish. That's whatever it is, 150 points, 160 points. Likely what we'll have is a rotational, churny Thursday, and then Friday we can decide what we're going to do. This is not very dissimilar to what we had in during the last FOMC. Just trying to find it. Here we go. FOMC sold off, and then the next day we opened up right around 96-ish, similar area, right around 3,800, and we churned for the day. Just trying to zoom it in. That was it. That was the day's range. 38.07 to 37.63, roughly a 40-point range. And that FOMC sell-off, I believe, was larger, from 39.25 down to whatever it was at the close, roughly 3,800. So that was a larger sell-off that day. Anyway, hope that helps. If there are any changes to this stuff, they will be made on Twitter per usual. But again, just looking to really trade this range here and not really go beyond that. Hope that helps. Changes to Twitter. Trade safe, you guys.